Here we have an equation where you're going to need to solve for x. In these equations, the first thing you need to do is check to see that the problem is set equal to 0, which we already have up here. So we do not need to worry about that, and we can therefore proceed. Our problem is x cubed minus 5x squared minus 4x plus 20 equals 0. The first thing you're going to want to notice in this problem is that there are more than 3 terms. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms in this problem. The easiest thing to do with that is to use grouping. So what you're going to do is group the first 2 terms together, as I did right here, and the second 2 terms together, just like that. Remember that the problem is still set equal to 0. You may be wondering what you have to do after you've grouped. Well, the next step is going to be to pull out the common factors. Common factors are numbers which have 2 variables in common. For example, 9 and 6 both have 3 in common. Just like that. So here are your common factors you're going to look at in this first term are x cubed minus 5x squared. And as you can see right here, you can take x cubed is x times x times x, and then negative 5x times x. You can take out 2 x's from both of those terms. So what you're going to do is then you have an x squared taken out. You still have an x here, and you have a negative 5 here. That is where you get this first term right in here. Okay? Now you can see for the common factor of our next term, negative 4x plus 20, we have a negative 4 we can take out because negative 4 times 1x and then negative 4 times negative 5 equals 20. So negative 4x minus 5 is where we get our second term. Your next step is going to be to pull these 2 terms down. So we have x squared minus 4, which pulls down into that. And you'll notice we have 2x minus 5s, which reduce down to 1x minus 5. Then what you notice is you can't reduce the x minus 5 any further. However, this right here is what we call a difference of squares equation. This is the equation for difference of squares. X minus y, quantity of, times quantity x plus y is going to equal x squared minus y squared. So, for that, if you notice that we have an x squared just as the equation equaled x squared minus y squared, we have an x squared minus 4, which is a perfect square, 2 times 2. So what you're going to do in the next part is pull that down. Your next step would be to just write that out. X minus 2 and x plus 2 would equal x squared minus 4, just as we have right here coming down. We can no longer factor out any of the terms, as they are the lowest they can go. So now what you're going to do is make sure that they are all still set to 0. So we have x minus 2, we have x plus 2, and x minus 5 all set equal to 0. So just use algebra. X minus 2 equals 0, you're going to add a 2. So x equals 2, x plus 2, you're going to subtract a 2, minus 2, and then x minus 5, you're going to add a 5, which gives you that right there. Your next step would be to simply write that out and set them in brackets. Okay, so we had x equals negative 2, or x equals 2, or x equals 5. Another way to write this is using brackets in ascending order. And you draw the brackets just like this. Ascending order would be x is negative 2, 2, and 5. And you've completely solved the problem.